Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Espero que muy bien, sean bienvenidos a The Witcher 3. Vamos a continuarle justo aquí afuera del almacén en donde nos enfrentamos a Detlef, lo que parece ser que es el asesino o el monstruo de Beauclair. Ay, ¿qué va a pasar?
Sir, a letter for you, sir.
Letter? Who from?
Can't rightly say, sir. I was just to deliver it.
¿Qué? ¿Qué quieres? Toma, propina, hombre.
Here. And thanks.
No, sir. Thank you. And I truly hope I'll be of service again.
Está bien, hombre, no pasa nada. 5 monedas. A ver, ¿una carta de quién?
My dear Geralt.
I hope all is well. I imagine you hot on the trail of some nasty monster. Or is it an overly complex curse this time? Oh, Geralt, I wish I knew for certain. Whatever is keeping you busy, perhaps you'll need a break. For those moments, I offer you this intriguing little mystery I happened on in an old manuscript I bought off a merchant from Nazaire. The tome's author claims a certain Professor Moreau once called Beauclair home, and this professor conducted research into Witcher mutations. I don't know much else, but I suspect that alone might pique your interest. The tome mentioned a journal interred with the scholar when he passed. It could very well lead you to his laboratory. I'm enclosing a map I found folded in the tome. It's smudged in a few places, but I hope it proves useful anyway. Please be careful and come back to me quickly. Your Triss.
Ah, una carta de Triss.
A professor who studied Witcher mutations. Might actually be worth looking into.
Ya me acordé de esto. Afronta lo desconocido, nueva misión. Bueno, ya la haremos. Por el momento vamos a continuar con la misión principal. Mira, aquí está la carta de Triss. A ver si hay por aquí cerquita algún punto de estos para viaje rápido. Ah, mira, de hecho aquí hay uno de este para misiones. Vamos para ver qué misioncitas podemos encontrar. A ver, ¿por dónde subo? Por acá, por acá. Míralo, aquí está.
Might be worth looking into.
Lugar sin descubrir. Ah, mira, aquí está uno para viajar rápido. A ver, veamos los contratos. Contrato, gran maestro armero. Ah, mira, un maestro armero en Beauclair. Busca hombre valiente para ayudarle a recuperar unos diagramas perdidos. Perfecto. Se precisa escolta armada. Contratar a una persona o varias, como el manejo de la espada. O por una suma razonable, nos escolte dentro de la gruta de Albertus con el fin de explorarla. Ok, muy bien. Otra vez, intenta superar las pruebas de las virtudes. Todo lo que es bueno y hermoso sigue. Ven a la isla de Lac Celavi. Demuestra la rectitud de la naturaleza durante las pruebas. Si la superas recibirás una recompensa. No sé qué sea eso. Y contrato, discusiones en el cementerio. Ya que ningún miembro del comité de residentes cree que sea responsabilidad suya, lo escribiré yo mismo. Esto no puede seguir así. Ese barullo infernal que proviene del cementerio nos está volviendo locos y nadie hace nada al respecto. Sé que todos lo oímos. Madame Bouquet ha admitido que no pega ojo en toda la noche y vive más lejos del cementerio que ninguno de nosotros. Si hay algún brujo que pueda poner fin a todo el griterío, el alboroto y los insultos, le pagaré de mi propio bolsillo. Preguntad por Charles Lanzanon, el vendimiador sabido. Ese soy yo, ok.
Somebody needs an escort. Not something I do often, but might be worth investigating. Nice tune.
Haced caso a papá. Qué nombre tan extraño. Bueno, ahí tenemos ya las misiones. Con el tiempo poco a poco las iremos haciendo. Ahorita, ¿dónde hay que viajar? Ah, mira. Justo no tenemos viaje rápido para allá. Vamos a tener que ir corriendo. No pasa nada, venga. Hasta que el brujo nos separe. Esto suena muy bien eso. Oh.
Please disperse. The exhibition is closed.
What's this about?
Oh, Lapiote, give me strength. I can't bear this, please. I believe I've been clear. No presentation today.
Y se va.
Oh, wait. Are you not that famous witcher, Geralt of Rivia? I believe I have work for you.
Saw your notice. Mentioned a monument.
The matter is a delicate one, but mind you, I pay well. Alas, I can say no more at this stage. Interested?
A ver.
The statue. Just tell me what's the problem.
A picture's worth 1,000 words. More, I dare say. Come with me. I'll show you.
Ay, venga. Bueno, está bien. Ya nada más que nos cuente qué quiere y ya seguimos con la principal, que es con lo que quiero seguirle.
Here it is. Our pride and joy, Reginald Daubrey. A giant among lovers. A poking, puncturing swordsman, and atop all that, an unrifled tittler of harps and other organs.
So what's wrong with it?
How should I put this? It's lost its jewels.
Somebody stole the testicles off a statue.
No ordinary statue, mind you. The sole monument made using a cast of the great Reginald's own genitals. Certified and authenticated.
¿En serio?
Sprung directly from his loins, they grant all who stroke them unparalleled virility. All who buy a ticket, that is. Thus, you must retrieve those stones.
Vaya misión extraña, pero ya me acordé y está muy chistosa, la verdad.
Got my attention. Now tell me about this Reginald, all you know.
There's so much to tell. Legend has it he and the architect Faramond planned and laid out Beauclair.
Impressed already.
In particular, Reginald took great pains to devise escape routes for lovers caught with their pants down. Literally and metaphorically. He later made frequent use of them himself. Not out of fear, mind you, but to avoid having to kill his rifles in duels.
Any idea when the theft took place?
It must have been mere hours ago. I guided the last group through the exposition quite recently. Stones were very much in place.
¿Algún sospechoso?
Got any suspects?
Considering the vast potency of Reginald's prized pouch, everyone's a suspect. Who would not want it for himself?
Hombre, no sé, la verdad.
Need to look around. Might find a clue or two.
Do what you must, as long as you return grasping Reginald's stones. Without them, Beauclair's entire tourist sector faces trying times. Trying times.
La castración del héroe. Ok, bueno. A ver, aquí no era. Interesante, muy interesante, sí. Pero vayamos a lo que nos concierne.
Don't worry, Reginald, don't worry. It will all...
Luego ya lo haremos. ¿Habrá algún video que le dedique especialmente a alguna misión secundaria o así? Puede ser. De momento, vamos a continuar con la principal. Esta es la de pasar el trance. Primeramente con Regis en el cementerio. Porque tengo bastante curiosidad de ver qué nos cuenta Regis acerca de Detlef. Que al parecer vamos a tener que cambiar la estrategia. Antes era eliminar a la bestia. Y ahora vamos a tener que encontrar la manera no de eliminarla, sino de decirle que pare simplemente. O sea, de negociar con ella para que no siga cometiendo asesinatos. Pero no sé si puede ser posible eso. Al menos de momento no parece. Ah, ya está aquí cerquita, ¿verdad? Según hay un cementerio aquí cerca. Yo no lo veo todavía. A ver. Era un campo de girasoles. Vamos, vamos. Ah, mira aquellas montañas. Esas que se ven... ¿Sí las ves? Las que destacan, ¿no? De todas las demás. Allá iremos también. Hay varias cositas que hacer por aquel rumbo. El mapa este realmente está grande. A ver, ya casi llegamos. Ah, mira, este es el cementerio, ¿verdad? Aquí está. Cementerio de Mere Lachaise. ¿What? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué es esa madre? Arquespor. Arquespor, ¿qué era eso?
Regis. Couldn't have picked some other place to meet.
Dominic Goncierovsky adoraba la contabilidad, pero no contó con su muerte. No mames, en serio. Mira, hay unos arquespores también por allá. A ver, ¿qué son esas madres? ¿Dónde estarán? ¿Malditos? Arquespor. Mira si están en malditos. Pues a mí me parece una flor, eso sí, fea como ella sola. Eso es una planta. ¿Qué más tenemos por aquí? Ah, mira, Deadlaugh, la bestia de Bucler. La Larmia de Corvo Bianco. Y en relictos tenemos algo aquí. Ah, los Shelmars. Son relictos al parecer. Bien, entremos.
Regis!
Damn it. Locked. No way I got the place wrong. This is it. Gotta be. Gotta be another way in around here.
Ay, güey. Mira, parece que hay para allá abajo. What? Tengo que matarte. ¡Ay, güey, ay, güey! Espérate, espérate, espérate. Dios. Son duros estos. A ver. ¿Dónde podrá estar la entrada? Aquí. ¿Qué es esa madre? Kikimora obrera. Nunca la había visto. Vamos a tener muchos nuevos monstruos al parecer aquí. Mira, todo esto está lleno de huevos. A ver. Tengo que acostumbrarme a cómo pelean todos estos monstruos nuevos que nunca los había visto.
Kiki more eggs. Need to incinerate these to ash.
Hay que destruir los huevos.
Some stench.
Listo. ¡Ay, güey! Kikimora guerrera. No puede ser. Ya, por favor. A ver. Perfecto, ok, esa entrada está bloqueada. Para acá tiene que estar Regis, ¿no? Sí.
Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind.
Could have left the door unlatched.
What of my privacy? I value it rather deeply. Unmolested, especially by unwanted guests, that's my preferred state. Besides, I knew you'd find a way to get in.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Deadlaugh wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megascope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
Wherever did you get that?
Off one of the beast's victims, found by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
de Detlef, ¿verdad?
It's Detlef's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinaris' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy at Kaer Morhen, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Kovinaris never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Kovinaris gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Detlef was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Detlef's hideout.
Ok. ¿Y ese anillo?
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here, guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I in turn gave it to Detlef. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
Pues veo que no funcionó.
Can't you just summon Detlef? You're both higher vampires, there's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Detlef. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
Ok, de acuerdo. No me dijo con quién, pero bien, hagámosle caso.
Kovinaris spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Detlef's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
Ayuda. ¿A quién?
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned, him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
De acuerdo.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
So, think you've set a nice little trap for me? Sorry. Want to get me to confess? Gonna have to try harder.
I love a challenge. In that case, my ears are cocked. What must I do?
How about you get the ball rolling? Reveal one of your secrets. Vampires, intriguing creatures, must lead fascinating lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Hombre, una charla con un vampiro, claro que ha de ser algo súper interesante. A ver, ¿qué tenemos de preguntas? A ver, esto, o sea, ¿cómo es estar muerto?
Gotta ask you the big question. One everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well-founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Detlef, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh, experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Depends on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
Hombre, vaya diálogos. Vaya diálogos.
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Detlef recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
For a bit, but Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
Eso no sabía. Eso puede ser un dato que puede ayudar más adelante.
Got a new life, new body. That give you a new start, blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Geralt. Curiosity's a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, at first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand nor move on my own. Detlef bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower. Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. But what of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back, defeated the Wild Hunt together.
Ooh. Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now.
Bueno, ya le hemos preguntado todo.
All right. Give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say. But I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a Witcher?
Hombre. Esto no sabría decir. La verdad, yo siempre me he imaginado que Geralt no se imagina siendo diferente. O sea, es como que él sabe que es brujo y sabe que es bueno en eso. No sé, jamás he sabido si él realmente se imagina haciendo otra cosa.
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Ever tried?
See, you're determined to get an answer, to find out if I like being a Witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always. I like being on the path. I like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast. Yeah, not something I think about much, but I like being a Witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment.
Beber con tu amigo en un cementerio. Creo que es algo que nunca haré en mi vida.
Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Appreciate the compliment. Got something for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the white survived entirely unmolested.
Maldición.
Know anything else about this curse?
Criatura
I don't
moteada,
recall
¿qué
much
será
in
eso?
particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something.
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
La saliva, ok.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate, it's covered in spoons.
Spoons.
Cucharas.
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the white to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
Busca la guarida de la criatura. Lee el bestiario para informarte sobre las criaturas moteadas. A ver. Criaturas moteadas. Ni puta idea de qué son esas cosas. Aquí está. Criatura moteada. Nuestra mejor defensa contra las criaturas moteadas es la tranquilidad. Las criaturas moteadas son una subespecie de criaturas que los brujos han conseguido extinguir. Son más grandes que las criaturas sin motas de su especie y deben su nombre a las manchas y efusiones de su piel. Viven en cementerios, en ruinas y páramos salvajes, aunque a veces habitan las casas abandonadas de algún humano. Les encanta crear brebajes con sus propias emisiones. No se muestran muy agresivos si no se les molesta. No obstante, pueden ser muy peligrosas al